Travis Wayne Goodsell. As we enter into the story portion of Joseph Smith meeting what the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints tells us is Moroni, rather than originally Nephi. The thing that is needed to be understood is that this is the 1838 edition that Joseph Smith is giving us. That originally, with the start of the organization, that it was all about the visit of Nephi to Joseph Smith. It was all about the Egyptian gold plates to Joseph Smith. It was never about the first vision. And with that understanding, Mormonism takes on a whole new twist. As I previously did a reviewing of the first vision, and it's been a while. I've been under attack because there's a certain organization that does not want me to release information about such an organization. And so there's an interim part with Joseph talking to a Methodist, which is coded for the loss of the 116 pages. That's where he would have had contact with a Methodist. He had begun work on the plates. He eloped with Emma. And they had a child. The child dies. And Martin Harris takes advantage of this and gets a hold of the 116 pages and goes back to his anti-Mason committee in Palmyra, as he's concerned that it's too Masonic. And so the Methodist preacher is Joseph and Emma trying to seek consolation with their Emma's family's Methodists in Harmony, north of Pittsburgh, as the Methodists want nothing to do with Joseph because he was arrested for glass-looking visions. No such thing as visions in the latter days. Died with the apostles. So that's where that comes from. When we then get into the actual Nephi appears to Joseph Smith. Joseph's name is to be known for good and evil among all nations. Nephi tells him of the Book of Mormon and of the coming judgments of the Lord, and quotes many scriptures. The hiding place of the gold plates is revealed. Nephi continues to instruct the prophet. This came after sections 3 and sections 10, even. Those are the first documents of the church that we have. Sections 3 and 10. And those are necessary in understanding the actual history that took place in regards to this. And if you remember the 1981 edition of the Triple Combination, the church claimed they decoded the encoded Doctrine and Covenants. They claim they got it all because they claim only the parts that dealt with the United Order were encoded. Section 1 verse 16 was prior to that and was included in the Book of Commandments. It has the word Babylon, and says Babylon shall fall, meaning in the future. Babylon fell to the Persians in sometime around 530-ish BCE. So it's not Babylon. It's code for some or other organization rather than kingdom. And it's the great and abominable church, because Revelation talks about the whore of Babylon, referring to the religious order. And it can refer to the theology, because Babylon was a theocracy. Did I say theology? Yeah, theocracy. And so there needs to be an understanding that for the latter days, government and religion are separated now. So you've got to identify the government, you've got to identify the religion that are being referred to in Scripture and prophecy, separate and distinctly. And so here we get to the repetition of the 22nd of September. If you're familiar with my older channels that I had to stop because of terrorist activities preventing me from uploading videos, and I'm doing a video for this channel because they haven't appeared yet. I'm not sure if it's because they back off because of the inverted pentagram for this channel and for these videos, and I think it's over here, the watermark. It's something new I've discovered I can do on YouTube. And there's some other interesting things as I've been going to the government for help, and they've been ignoring me with the cyber attacks that I'm getting on my computer. But something weird's going on lately as we're in the final countdown to conference. So I'm not sure what that's all about. But the 22nd of September has come and gone. There's a pattern. 4 times September 22nd. Nephi keeps telling Joseph over and over again about destruction coming to America, the day of the Lord. And let's go over this different scriptures he has here. Let's see, there's the gold plates, Egyptian, and again, knowing Joseph Smith Sr.'s new Israelite connection in Vermont with Jewish mysticism, which is communication coding. It's not magic and witchcraft. Jewish mysticism is not that. It's communication through code. It's understanding deeper about religion through coded symbolism and communication. And his connection with the Yorkites Freemasonry, which includes the Knights Templar, which includes Friday the 13th, and this October it's on a Wednesday rather than on a Friday. But the Knights Templar were involved with the Holy Grail, which is the bloodline of King David, so Solomon, the descendant of the latter days, the Christ. And see, Christianity has all been fooled into thinking that Constantine had authority to create God out of nothing. That's what happened at the Nicene Council with the Nicene Creed that we went over in the first vision, assuming I remember what was in that video. It's been so long now. But that's the subject matter. And We have Malachi being quoted the first part of the 3rd chapter of Malachi, and also the 4th or the last chapter of the same prophecy, and that's the day of the Lord shall burn as an oven. That was supposed to be a big destruction, and he even quotes it here. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. There's supposed to be a destruction. Something happened that caused it to be postponed or altered for a plan B instead of plan A. I would love to go into it, but I'm already at the time frame limit for this channel for the videos. But I saved your lives, or at least postponed the saving of your lives. That's why I'm under attack. But then he goes on to quote Isaiah chapter 11, and then Acts instead of Deuteronomy. Acts includes a changing in the wording to destruction of Mormons. Because this is Joseph Smith incorporating the biblical text to imply that it's going to have to do with his organization now. His organization is the religion being talked about, whether it's the New Testament with Jesus and his apostles, it's now Joseph Smith and his church, or the Old Testament with the prophets, as Joseph Smith is the prophet, talking about Mormons to fulfill the Old Testament prophecies. This is what section 45 is trying to get across to Mormons, is that Joseph Smith is taking those biblical prophecies and saying they're now applying to Mormons for the latter days. And so it's not Jews, it's Mormons. It's not Jerusalem, it's, well, now Utah. As Judah just happens to coincidentally be phonetically the same. And so the Jerusalem temple is the Salt Lake temple. That's how you decipher and decode the scriptures for Joseph Smith's coding that is taking place here. And so Nephi, not Moroni, plug him into the Book of Mormon coding. Who is Nephi in the stories? Well, he's the Messiah figure. And so Joseph Smith being appeared to by the Christ of the latter days, who is supposed to be a Mormon, section 103, verse 16, mortal man, mortal parents. Christ comes from the temple initiatories, washings to be a high priest and a high priestess, and anointing, christening, to become Christ and Christa, king and queen. And so here we have a repetitive coding for a date, because when somebody comes to you and says, hey, the United States is going to be destroyed, you're going to say, oh, okay, so cool, thanks, bye. No, you can ask them when. You know, you're going to be concerned. Oh no, I need to save my family. Oh, it's not for 200 more years? Gotcha. Okay, thanks, bye. And not tell us a date. And that's the thing, is that redactors have been into the biblical text, Matthew specifically, 24 and 25, repeating, no man knows the day or the hour, as he's given us the day and the hour. The parable of the 10 virgins. Oh yeah, after midnight, the bridegroom comes, and the virgins are either ready or not ready. After midnight. Okay, that's an hour time period. No man knows the day or the hour? You just gave us the hour, after midnight. And the day comes from other signs in the heavens that he gives us at the beginning of his book with the birth, as there's multiple ones, but one of them is the date. But in 24, when he says it, he gives us the month, September. And here's Joseph Smith. This is the fig tree harvest, talked about in Matthew 24, and he gives us the hour after midnight. The first thing here is over the night time. So 4 years from the beginning, or 4 years after the first year of the latter days, which was 2017 in Revelation chapter 12. That sign there. 23rd September, say again, same time period, 2017. And so that's what needs to be understood as a backdrop for the Joseph Smith history of what's going on here. And yes, Plan A did not happen, did it? Somebody kept repeating it over and over again in video after video after video after video, and was attacked to be silent about it. Even on my academia.edu page, they wouldn't let me post any more videos. They silenced me on that one too. So, yeah, we'll see if I'm able to even upload this video, but yeah, Plan B is coming. And some events that are coming are going to give us clues as to what it will be involving. The shutdown of the government. Pay attention. Is it going to happen this Friday? MAGA says yes. They're not going to allow Democrats to fund the government anymore. And so, yeah, they're intent on breaking Trump's record from 2018-2019 of shutting down the government. And then conference. Pay attention to conference as to how they continue to spread the lies about church history and the doctrine and all that. But pay attention to their coded speech as to their part of Plan B. Because they're not giving talks on Plan A anymore. It didn't happen, so they're not going to be talking about that. Instead, they've got Plan B to talk about with the Mormons. And so you need to know this coding that they are using, which is different than Joseph Smith used. But we'll still expose them as temples. Are we going to have another 20, maybe 50 this time? Will he list them? Or just say, 50, look them up. We'll put them on the website eventually. You know, we're not going to announce temples anymore because we're coming out with too many of them. But they're not building churches. Churches low. Temples high. There's a reason for that. And it's called a land grab, as they are anticipating a coming destruction. And what do they need a land grab for around the world, and especially in Utah, where they used to own the land after murdering the indigenous residents? So pay attention. Things are happening.